hear the voice of Alice's spirit coming from somewhere nearby. I seem to be inside a faintly shining sphere. Looking closer, I see that it's made of magic symbols. This is a magical field. Beyond the magic field, I see a seat surrounded by instrument panels. The girl is sitting there, now back to her original shape. As I watch, the wing-like things on her back split into pages before reforming around her head. Now she's wearing a helmet that sort of looks like Hadou's. I have no idea what this means.
おい、魔導書、ここは一体。
鈍いやつだな。内装を見てわからぬか？デウスマキナの中に決まっておるだろう。
デウスマキナ、あのロボットのか。それにデモンベインって。あのロボットのか。それにデモンベインって。
それくらいは想像つくであろう。こやつの名だ。
Demonbane. This robot's name. And the name of the weapon against the Black Lodge that the Hadou princess mentioned.
じゃあ、このロボットがハドウの。
操作系にアクセスするぞ。
は？ああ！
The black wings of my bodysuit dissolve into the pages of the grimoire. Picked up by the sphere, they float around me like the rings of Saturn. The ring of paper begins glowing. The rings of pages start shining, changing shape before my eyes. Some become monitors, others consoles, cages, and control devices, accessorizing the magic field. Everything that could possibly be needed to control the robot is floating around me. Huh. What kind of crazy science is this? Sitting in her pilot seat, which is more mechanical, like you'd expect in a robot, Al laughs boldly.
よし、いける。黒、デモンベイン、出動だ。
だから状況で無理やり押し流そうとするんじゃねえ。
毒食らわば皿まで。
毒自身がその格言を吐くか。
ならば無理にでも皿を食らってもらうか。
てめえ。おお。
The sudden vibration almost makes me trip. The robot has begun moving. No, the entire platform the robot is secured to has begun moving. It looks like the platform is some kind of transport for this robot. It begins sliding across the ridiculously huge track. The loud rumbling reverberates across the darkness of the hangar.
こいつ、勝手に動いて。
It proceeds through the chamber. I wonder where it's heading. Oh, looks like the destination was right there. A dead end lies ahead. But at the very end of the hangar, there lies a giant boulder with a magic circle. That's as good a description as I can come up with. The rock's size rivals that of this robot. It looms ahead of us, almost menacingly. The transport continues ahead. Hey, wait!
このままじゃ、あれと衝突してしまうじゃねえか。
Suddenly, light pours out. The magic circle in the rock rises up into the air, shining brightly. Just as the robot touches the magic circle, a flood of light fills my vision. The flash recedes, and when my vision returns, I find ourselves in a completely unfamiliar place. A huge, spherical room. The robot is floating in its center. The transport is mysteriously lowered to the ceiling. Around the robot, magic circles, and more magic circles. They too are glowing with light, brightly illuminating the spherical room.
なんだ、ここは。
あの岩の中だ。
なあ、ほだ。あの岩はここまでの大きさはないぞ。
誰も魔術師の端くれなら、全部をユークリッド幾何学に当てはめて思考するのはよせ。なるほど、この空間魔術装置か。召喚のロジックが組み込まれている。これなら。い
や、何言ってるんだか全然理解できない。
まあよい、見れば理解できるだろう。敵の近くに座標を設定して飛ぶぞ。覚悟は良いな。
よくない。
いい加減腹をくくれ。デモンベイン出撃する。
The magic circles around the robot grow in intensity. Just when I think the explosive flash is going to burn away my vision, it recedes rapidly. Suddenly, the begins. The magic circles are gone, and the view beyond that had been hidden by their light is now visible. What is that? They're like stars, or spiders extending their legs. Mysterious things, neither plant nor animal, surround the robot. Like the magic circles, there are 8 of them in every direction. But what is this? I almost let out a cry, but my throat was clogged with fear. In the middle of the one that was in front of the robot, a giant eyeball suddenly opened up. Gaze. Our eyes meet. The other 7 are the same, all with their giant eyes, closing in with their legs that most resemble spider legs or claws. I'm finally able to let out a cry, but Al is completely composed and gives me an annoyed look.
いちいち騒ぐな。ただの装置だ。
装置って
The eyeball demons encircle and trap the robot. The 8 eyeballs, right nearby, light up at once. That moment. Huh? A downward sensation. I'm falling deeper, deeper. Below me, flames rage like the fires of hell. The fallen robot is swallowed in the light of the inferno, and then my senses go wild. The Hadou Estate. The office of the Hadou Financial Group President. This is the chamber of the tyrant who reigns over the world's economy. On the throne sits Hadou Ruri, the young queen who has inherited everything from her forebears. The phone rings, loud enough to threaten a collapse of the enormous, precariously balanced stacks of paper on her desk. The phone in her office almost never rings. Looking away from the documents she's holding, Ruri picks up the receiver.
私です。何が起こりました？お嬢様、破壊ロボです。ブラックロッジの破壊ロボが現れました。
She hears a flustered voice coming from the other end of the receiver. Ruri frowns, grinding her teeth in annoyance. Those loathsome terrorists again. She is frustrated by the lack of any means to resist them. If only Demonbane would move, then those scum won't be able to do as they please.
それと、もう一つ大変なことが。まだ？他に何が？
She listens to the next words that come through the receiver. The weight they carry freezes Ruri's expression. She nods, her face hard with anxiety.
わかりました。すぐに向かいます。
Hanging up the phone, she leans back into her chair, which immediately begins to turn by itself. There is the sound of something clicking, followed by that of moving machinery. The low sound briefly echoes through the office, and then the president's chair, the tyrant's throne, suddenly sinks into the floor. Slide wipe. Sitting in the chair, Ruri disappears beneath the floor. Only an empty silence is left to rule the office. The president's chair falls rapidly through a shaft. This is the president's personal elevator, connecting the Hadou estate with the sprawling underground secret base. And at the end of the line is... Ruri stands. She roughly grabs her dress, and then pulls it off with nearly enough force to tear it. The luxurious dress floats through the air. Ruri's appearance is now completely different. Wow! Now wearing a uniform that prioritizes mobility of the breasts, mobility, the complete opposite of her dress, Ruri gives off the aura of a proud lord. In other words, this is the other face of Hadou Ruri. Her face as commander of the forces resisting Black Lodge. Her destination is an enormous underground base, built in secret with all of the Hadou group's prowess. The elevator continues down into the base's center at the deepest levels of Arkham City. Before her spreads a vast room. Standing on a platform higher than its surroundings, Ruri is able to look out over the entirety of it. The darkness is burned away by the light from countless monitors, big and small, and by the magic symbols that cover the walls and float in the air. In the space below her, 3 operators dressed in maids' uniforms are each dealing with some emergency. Noticing Ruri's arrival, one of the operators turns.
お嬢様、ここでは司令と呼びなさい。はいです、司令。それで格納庫で異常事態が発生したと聞きましたが。
はい、虚数展開カタパルトが稼働を始めています。
なぜ？まさか侵入者？
不明です。施設のコントロールは完全に奪取されています。こちらからではモニターするのが精一杯です。
電力を遮断しなさい。魔力炉の緊急停止を許可します。すでにブレーカーが作動しております。しかしその
Upon hearing this report, a visible agitation runs across Ruri's face.
ありえないですわ。そんな大電力、一体どこから？デモンベイン本体です。
Winfield, standing in the sub-commander's seat, transmits the operator's words.
魔術回路を補足しきれないほどの高密度情報が循環しています。機体が稼働しているのです。
そんな、デモンベインは魔導書がなければ動かないのに、誰がどうやって？
The camera projects a huge crack, the imaginary expansion catapult. The magic pattern on its face flashes, and soon the entire thing is shining with light. The flash grills all monitors into white static, and looks as though the rock is exploding.
すべての構成元素が無限速度に到達しました。デモンベイン、偏在化します。
She turns away from the flash and into the Demonbane status on the other monitor.
反応が消えた。消えたのとはちゃいます。虚数展開された物質は確率上の概念としてあらゆる空間に存在している状態でして。それでどこに行ったのですか？タキオンカウンター作動しましたです。
選択された確率事象から出現位置が逆算できます。少々お待ちを。
Her clenched fist trembles under doubt. What in the world is happening?
何が起こってんだ？
Space has warped. Everywhere I see is twisting, pulsating, whirling. I'm not sure if I'm standing. I feel like I'm swaying, spinning, and turning over all at the same time. I hear my own voice coming from all directions and distances. All my senses have gone completely insane, leaving me without a handle on reality.
うろたえるな見苦しい。ただの空間転移だ。
I hear Al's annoyed voice from everywhere at once. Spatial shift? Yeah, I guess it does look like kind of one of those movie warps.
今いる我らをこうしているかもしれなかった空間すべてに広げた後、どこなりと指定した座標にいたことにする。つまりはそういう意味だ。
はあ？なんだそりゃ、全然わけわかんねえよ。
おしゃべりはここまでだ。実空間に権限するぞ。
だからもうちょっとわかりやすく。うわあ！